Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
And do we have any alerts? The last alert I saw was a Euro Aussie. Actually, there was one after that, but the Euro Aussie was the first one. It looks like it has some potential. Let's take a look and see at the heat map and see what the strength of the
Euro Aussie, Al.
Huh?
What time was the Euro Aussie? I have a Euro.
Oh, that was, yeah, that was, do you have anything? Well, we got a Euro CAD was the last one I saw. Euro Aussie was at the 12:45 candle, which was 1, 2, 3, about 2 hours ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Al,
don't know, I like this one.
Al, you might want to look at the news also real quick before we get to the charts.
Okay.
There's a lot of red folders this week.
Okay, well, let's do that here. Let's do that since this is a trade that actually we got into this one last week about Monday, and it was a long and it just crashed on us, and it's been kind of fighting out this range anyway. Right now, it's still pretty much in a range, so I'm just going to pass on that one. Not only is it a couple of hours old, it really isn't doing much moving, just going sideways. So let's go and check on the news.
I know GBP pairs were supposed to be avoided today from the variable call. Not sure what time of the day that was, but there was a red folder news for GBP today.
And we should have some, here's the Forex Factory. Let's see the news folder. It's here, just probably not seeing it yet. Why is it? No, let me try something else here.
And it's shaded, but we can see it. Okay.
I'll just go to the Forex Factory. I'll pull that one up again, see if I can get so Monday. So right now, Monday, we have, this was at 5 o'clock this morning with the GBP. That was already passed, so the results of that should already be in. Then on Tuesday, we have another one at 5 o'clock with the Aussie. That'll be, again, that's going to be 5 o'clock in the evening. That'll be after we'll be done here in the morning, but keep an eye on that one. That's going to be right at the end of the day break. On Wednesday, lots of red folders on Wednesday. We have at 8:30, we have a lot of US and Canadian, 8:30 and then 10 o'clock for the CAD. So keep an eye on that one. Those look like they could move the market a little bit. And then on Thursday, Euro was 7:40 in the morning. This is going to be just before we get started here on Thursday. We have some Euro folders at 7:30, 7:45 and 8:30. Some press releases coming in. And last but not least, on Friday, 8:30, we have some CAD unemployment change and unemployment rates on the Canadian dollar on Friday. So US CAD and British pound, looks like those are going to be some of the main ones this week. I would say get these calendars up and check them every day to make sure that you know what times are coming in. Just keep on top of that a little bit. Let's see what the economic calendar has for so I get this one to come up. There we go. It's probably the same type of scenario. British pound March 8th at 10 o'clock. That's today. So we'll be aware of that one. Governor Bailey speaks. And later on tonight, we have a Japanese yen pair. And let's see, March 9th, we have the euro. That's one we talked about earlier. There's an Aussie later on March 9th. That's Tuesday, tomorrow. Couple of orange folders and red folders for the Canadian dollar on Wednesday. Thursday's going to be the high impact day of with the US dollar and Canadian dollar. That should take care of that. And let's go back to the charts.
Are you going to have a look at the US CAD, Al?
I will. Thank you, Eva, for reminding me about that one. I looked at that one earlier. It didn't seem to me that there was anything to see on that one. It's really range bound right here. Nothing to, we can look and see where our trend is. Looks like our trend is to the downside. Just going to have to break through this bottom area here before we take that one. So if we get a break, let me see if there's anything on a higher time frame or lower time frame. Let's see, I'll move my arrow in here. Down arrow right up in this area. Okay, let me get that higher on my chart here. There we go, a little bit, and it looks like there's could be some clear sailing. I'll probably take a look at this one on my other chart and see where the zones are for this one. If you look at a 5-minute chart, same zone still there on the 5-minute. This is really pretty consolidated the way it looks to me. The range on this one is, let's see, well, actually there's probably 30 pip range on between the overnight high and low.
CB, there's a question for you in the Q&A.
Uh-huh.
The crypto room, does it have rules or strategies similar to Nate's DAG rules, like take profit, SL rules, etc.?
So to be fully transparent, we haven't, because there's such a small number of people in there, we really haven't engaged, let's just say, in some of the plans for it yet. You know, Nate's so busy trying to get, you know, version 4 out and some other things. So we are supposed to learn, you know, at least one kind of, you know, quote unquote secret strategy for crypto only at some point, but not much has occurred yet, guys, for anyone listening, but there are some pretty cool plans he kind of has been hinting at. Just wanted to get some more people qualified first. I think there's only maybe 13 of us in there right now. So, but we did, as I mentioned, he was looking for some testers over the weekend for version 4. So some of us in there are testing Arrow V4 right now. So, but not much else as of yet.
Do you have a session this weekend on that?
Crypto trading?
Yeah, well, did they have a session this weekend? Because if you did, I missed it.
No, there wasn't a live session, Al. No.
Oh, okay. I keep
So,
looking for updates
just
on
to
that. I haven't seen
break
any.
down quickly, how do you get qualified for the crypto room, CB?
Yeah, so you need to have on a live trading account that is connected to my FX books so that Nate can verify. You need to do 10,000 total pips, you know, and when I say that, so between your winning trades and losing trades, your net total has to be 10,000 pips to qualify. And that sounds like a big number, but honestly, with the swings we see in crypto, just 2 or 3 nice trades in, you know, either Bitcoin or Ethereum, and you're there. I mean, it happens pretty quick, to be honest with you.
So he's looking at a pip being a dollar move on it.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say, well, that sounds like an awful lot, but yeah, if you're talking about Bitcoin, it's.
Hey, you wanna quickly look at an interesting position right now, S&P 500. But and just as an observation, it's amazing to me more and more how the indices and the cryptos, the charts are so similar. It's crazy. But S&P 500 I know it's a scary chart, but yours, that's funny. So you don't have the zone that I have. So the top of this last high here, Al. Yep, right there. Your arrow. Yeah, there's a red zone there. You can see it across. See where
You're on a 5-minute chart.
Up. I'm on the 5-minute chart. Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
We
It
haven't
just
got
popped
an
up.
arrow yet, but man.
It just popped up. It just popped up. I was beginning to worry.
I'm just looking at
if you could speak zones into existence, that's pretty good there, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good there. I'm impressed.
That's got some power behind it. I think we might change our situations a little bit.
This might be setting up right now, though. If you guys if you're daring with the S&P.
Let's see. Do we have what kind of zones? What kind of the direction do we have on this? Looks like it's in the down. It's down.
Yep. I mean, obviously, let's wait for an arrow, but it looks like it might come anytime here. I thought it might on this candle, honestly.
This is a down move, the down arrow there.
Yep. And there's 100 pips to the green right now.
Yeah, so we'd have to, we should have a good chance we'll get a arrow on this one here today.
Yeah.
It's like we're about $12 into the $12 move available. We're looking for $5. And that would work. Keep an eye on that one. See if it comes up, and we'll take that one if it comes.
It's amazing, guys, though. You look at that chart in the NASDAQ, and then you look at the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. I've been just sort of watching this morning. They're like identical. All the charts are the Bitcoin and Ethereum and NASDAQ and S&P are all so similar looking this morning. It's crazy.
All going down.
Yeah,
Bitcoin
this is the best
rallied again. Bitcoin rallied again over the weekend.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, if we hadn't had, I lost some money this weekend from those server upgrades with the brokers, man. We were shut down all Saturday, and there were some great moves in crypto when the brokers were down. I don't know if you guys experienced that at all, but some of the more popular brokers.
I read an article the other day about the Coinbase. I'm not sure if Gemini was part of that, but they were saying that Coinbase has been. Now, usually when you make a transfer of coin, you could do it within about 10 minutes. And it seems like it's taken longer and longer. And I think it's just by the sheer volume that they're running into, it's crashing their servers. I made a transfer this weekend, and what normally took 10 minutes took me about 10 hours to get it transferred. But it did transfer, so.
Oh, that's crazy, Al.
So I think that's just, I think that's kind of the nature of the beast as, there's so much uncertainty in the markets and so much volatility in the markets that people are doing all kinds of things trying to reposition themselves. And the cryptocurrencies is one of those areas that people are starting to really get involved with and pay attention to. And that's just going to be some of the side effects of these, of the popularity of these things. It's not going to go away anytime soon.
One other thing I'll just mention here, because I'm looking at this as a potential trade on the 1 minute chart. There's definitely some support in our way right around where price is right now. So we may want to be on a Monday. We may want to be cautious with this. I don't want to set us up for a bad trade here.
You're talking about the S&P still?
Yeah, still on the S&P. I just was looking at the 1 minute. You know, I know that Coach Mo, who trades this pretty big, always does the peekaboo on this. On these kind of trades, and it's bumping right into support there.
Let me go and just load some lines here. Yeah, it's a pretty. It's not real wide. It's only it's $4 wide. So that means you have to get through that. You have to get your targets on the other side of that green zone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Let's see, that's 38.12. $8.12 is one of them, and I'll call it 38.06. And then a stop would be about 38.22. Remember, this is not a trade. This is, I'm just getting some lines on the chart so that when we do get a call on this trade on this one, we'll have everything kind of set already. Any other alerts that have come through yet?
Crypto XRP just came through, but
Okay.
Judson's asking, what are your thoughts on Kiwi US?
Kiwi USD. Double check all my charts to make sure I'm on the 15-minute. I notice it's a couple of them here that are not. Kiwi USD. Kiwi, it should be over here. It's 15 minutes. I'll put it up and see what we got. What time frame, Justin? "15 minutes, there's nothing here, right? We're in a green zone.
Pepper's
Let's
saying
see.
it's right on top of a whole number.
Let me get some lines on this one. Oh, it's the right one here. There's my overnight high, overnight low. Let's see, overnight high was about 71.82, we'll call it. Wait, 71.82. And 71.48. I'm just reading these numbers out so I can get them on my chart so I can move the lines. Whenever you save the templates, the lines save on the whatever price that you save the template on. And if it's another chart where they're not even close to it, you'll just have to bring the template back to you, bring the lines back to you. There you go. I got all my lines back up, and I like when everything's kind of quiet. I kind of like seeing what the direction is. And so we're going to scroll out here. Looks like we're in a down move. Come back up. Bring an arrow in here. Down arrow on this zone up here. And I like look and see where the overnight, where the money zone is, and I like bringing some lines to the money zone. And if we're in a down move, I'd like to have the blue line pretty much near where the breakout would be. And that's going to be right here at the lowest body of the candles inside from the daybreak. So from Sunday's open, which is right over here to the overnight high. And just move it right to the top of leave the wicks out of the zone, but just take it to the top of the bodies. And we're in a down move. So this would be the candle that you could have taken the trade. It got into the money zone, broke the lower candle. This would have been the entry, and then you would have had 20 pips to the downside. There really are a lot better trades oftentimes to catch that London session. And that's why Nate does his session when he does. It's in the middle of the night for anybody in the US and on the East Coast, but they do seem to have one of the more profitable times to be trading. And let's see. So that move, the overnight move would have already been done. Looks like there was probably 20 pips in that. Just guessing. It was a 40 pip move to the downside. Now we're into the green zone. We're in a downtrend. It would have to break through this green zone or bounce up and then give us another entry before we could take it. All the moving averages are in the right direction. And so it's not bad. I mean, it would have been a nice little trade if you were able to catch that at 1 o'clock in the morning. Let me double check my charts to make sure I've got all my alerts coming in the right time frame. And then these should be on the 5 minutes, and that's, take a look and see what gold's doing these days. Gold's dropped off. Gold was up at $2,200 over this, or $2,100 this summertime. Oh, we just got an alert. Oh, there we go. There's that. There's your trade there. Sell on the US 500.
Yeah.
We already looked at that one.
There it is. I just worry about how it's ranging right now, right in there. If you look at the 1 minute, it's we might be sitting on that. That one could reverse on us too. I'm not sure I would.
I don't like any zones on the SMP and the indices. If I go down to a lower time frame and I see a zone, I'm not a fan, because it 9 times out of 10 it bounces there.
Yeah, I agree. It's just kind of ranging right there. It's
especially since it's ranging.
You can see it came right to that little green zone. This is a zone that was found on the 1 minute. That's getting pretty small.
I know, like when I've watched Coach Mo do these kind of trades, just talk about it, it's. I mean, look at the 200 moving average; it's so flat right now. I wouldn't take this trade, but I know that one thing that she does a lot is she uses the RSI, and she wants to see that for a short position. She wants to see the RSI be below 40 to get in, and we're at like 46 right now on the RSI with this. So.
Yeah, you can see it's got a little bit of a pop to it coming up on the 1 minute here. So it just bounces coming up. It does have the range between this zone up here. Let's see where this one is. This is basically where your stop would be. What I kind of like what I'd be more apt to do with this one, I just sort of cut the difference in here, find out where the range is, and then see if do we have $10 or $15 move between the top that's 38.24 and to 38.11. So we've got about 13 pips, about $13 move in between. Remember, we're looking for $5. So if you take it in, you have to be pretty much in the right direction by the middle of the chart in order to catch your target.
Yep. Yeah, this is one of these trades that looks pretty good on the 5 minute, but not so much on the 1 minute.
Yeah, and just remember, this is only Monday. You've got all week to get your trades, and even if you shoot for, if you can get 3 good trades a week, you got your 3% or your 2% or whatever target you're looking for. 3 good trades a week will get there. You don't have to take the first one that you see on a Monday morning, especially. Remember, Mondays are when all the institutions are getting their positions for the week. And so they're driving the market in different places, and they're driving in a direction that you probably don't want to be. So yeah, we'll pass on that one. Let's see, anything else we have here?
On the Q&A, we have any thoughts on the US Swiss? We didn't get an alert though, that I'm aware of.
US, yeah, probably. We can always take a look at things here. It's not a bad idea. Just kind of, as things are quiet, just go through the charts and just see if there's anything setting up. Get your charts all ready to go, so you have some idea. Just broke out. The Swiss was kind of a volatile pair last week, and a lot of people were getting themselves caught in these Swiss pairs. And I think the Swiss and CAD pairs were the ones that were causing a lot of people some problems last week. And Gearbox, I think it was, that there's some people that had some drawdown in those pairs.
Yeah, because they're currency pairs that don't usually move that much, right, Al? Like they don't usually have, so they caught people off guard.
Yeah. Swiss has been kind of a funny pair. Swiss is, it's one of those that I get a love-hate relationship with the Swiss pairs. When it works really well. When it doesn't work, it's real annoying. Let's get some. Let's get the charts. There's the template up here. And It is going in an uptrend. Now the question is, where is the target? Let's go see if I can find my trading view charts and see if we can take a look and see where this US Swiss is doing. See if we can get an idea on that. Let's take a look at the heat map. US is strong on all 4 time frames. Swiss is weak on the 1 hour, the 30, the 15. Where's it at on this one?
So Al, I don't know if you were talking about the Swiss franc currency. I've been in drawdown on that in Gearbox for a couple of weeks now, honestly. I've noticed a trend with the Swiss franc lately where it seems to be weak in the first half of every week and then gain strength in the back half of every week. I don't know if that's just random last couple of weeks, but it's been happening 3 weeks in a row now where it starts the week and then works its way into strength later on in the week.
That's a good observation. Let's take a look at the chart on that and see what we can find on here. Let me get a trading view chart up. Let's see. Let's just try this one here. This is where you find out where if you get some technical analysis knowledge, sometimes it can really save you some trouble, get you some tighter stops and bigger targets and all that sort of thing. Okay, US Swiss. We go with try to change this back out to a 15-minute chart. So we're going to analyze this a little bit. You find out we said we were on the 1 hour chart. We said it was a lot of strength. Now I'm looking over to the left. I see absolutely nothing. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a line here right at the top of where the price is. And I'm going to look over to the left. I'm going to scroll into a different time frame so I can see where this target is. There's bound to be one someplace. And if it's not, that means whole things are coming into, there you go. There's I go all the way to a weekly chart back in July of last year before I found out where an area was. And so we have this big, long, extended range candle here. This is a weekly candle. So this candle took all week to build. This was last week's candle. Nice extended range candle. Kind of mimics this one, only in the opposite direction. This is the origin. So I'm going to mark this little wick over wick area right here as a target zone. I'm going to take it to a daily chart and see if we can find out if we can tweak that any. And we have this strong move down, basing, strong move down. So right now we're looking to see if it's going to come up and retest this area right here. This is our supply zone. Let's move this in over here. I'm going to label this a supply. We're going to lock it so it doesn't move on us. And now we can go back to our 15-minute chart and see what we're looking at here. So this would be the target. There's really nothing much before we get to this area right in here. It hasn't been tested yet, so this is all pretty much of from the time it left in July, it hasn't come back to revisit this area yet. So this could be a good long play. There's lots of room to the upside. 93.52 to 93. We've got it looks big, but that's only 22 pips to the top of here. We have our 20 pips, but this will be a target 93.74. So let's go back over to our charts. And we look at it for a target of 93.74. Going 93.74. That'll be our target. We don't have an arrow yet, but we did have a break of this. By the time we get an arrow, this one may already be there. We don't really have the entry just yet as far as the arrow move. And let's see if we can. This could be a nice little wedge formation coming up here. Let's take a look at that on the trading view here. On a 15-minute chart, you can see it's been a nice, this is yesterday, Sunday's open, nice big move up overnight. That was a 33 pip move where it is right now. Let's spread this out a little bit. And let's see where some of these other lines are, institutional levels here. 15 minutes. Here's our green zone right up top there, right at the top of that. $93.52 looks like there was a that's pretty close to where I did that. It's right at a blue zone right now. That's why I can see that right there. Amazing how that works. There's our blue zone, blue 15-minute. It's gonna find a little, gonna have a little trouble getting through that, especially knowing that we're only 20 pips away to the top of this thing. Move this down to the red zone. I'll lock that. We'll lock this one. So you can see that we made a, here's so it is trending in a channel going into the upside. Here's our channel right here, the bottom of the channel. Has a little bit of a break on that one. Maybe able to tweak this a little bit more. I like that. Here's an anchor. Here's the first hit. Here's a hit. And then we look and try, and we're going to find the top of it. An upper channel. And I'm going to be looking at, it's got a little bit of a wedge going on. It's starting to consolidate a little bit. There's your wedge. Could use this one. And it's starting to get a little bit tighter. If it breaks to the top of this, we could get a little bit of a head fake up into this area and only for it to come back down again. This was a strong move overnight. I'm not going to take that, not with it being that close to the zone up there. If you get a really strong, if we got an up arrow, I could maybe foresee taking that. I want to get a little bit more confirmation on that one. And
Hey,
we're
Al?
coming in. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished with that trade.
No, I was.
Okay. Pepper was asking about the Euro USD. Seems to be falling with nothing to stop it. But there's we don't have an alert yet, but you know, he's talking about on the 15-minute, the Euro CAD.
Euro CAD or Euro USD?
Euro CAD.
Euro CAD. Well, the CAD's going to be a lot stronger now that they shut off all the pipelines and everything else. The oil is going to be going up, and the thing with I was just interrupted with a hug. For a 4-year-old. With the pipelines being shut down, and basically think of it this way: if you're an oil man and you had oil in your storage tanks and you had the opportunity they just cut off the supply. The price of the oil is going to be your economies, your pocketbooks are going to get filled as the price of oil goes up. The Canadian dollar is very much geared to the oil. So with the Euro CAD, the CAD's the second currency of the pair. When the CAD gets stronger, is going to go down. So as oil prices go up, the CAD's going to go down. I don't see this thing stopping anytime in the near future, to be honest with you, just because of the overall supply and demand of the price of oil. So having said that, if you get a down arrow, I think this has all changed since they stopped construction on that pipeline. So in my opinion, and take that for what it's worth, that this thing's probably could be a possibility for this zone's going to break and head on down to a lower price. Now let's take a look at the Euro CAD on the other time frame while we're waiting for these other alerts. And if we go to this Euro CAD on the US CAD, would probably be much the same picture, I would guess. Let's see, we'll find out where all of our, let's clean up the chart here. Let's get on a higher time. Let's see, right now we know where the price is right here at 1858. I'll just mark it. Let's mark this green zone here. The green. Come over and see where we can find where this area here was once tested. Looks like it was back probably in November is where this was. So here's our green zone. Here's the price where it left that area. Big wick down here. There's a wick, the wick, come over and probably all the way down to the bottom of this one right here. If it breaks through that, the next stop is going to be this one. Come back over to our current price. I'm going to call this our demand zone. Let's bring this on up to the green line. That's significant. And that's the way we'd be looking at that. I'd be looking to probably expect a little bit of a bounce. Since this is a daily level, this is a daily level here. The 1846 level would probably be a good place where you might expect it to bounce on that one. And that's basically 20 pips down the road. Look at it from a 15-minute standpoint. You can see that from the overnight, here's the overnight, here's Sunday's daybreak. It's trending on down. All this is highs, lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Just keeps trending on down. We'll probably get a bounce off of here, I would suspect. Probability is high. You don't know until it happens. So right now it's building a wedge. You've got a little bit of a flat bottom. This is going to be an area where it's going to have to bounce through, and you could get a nice little bounce off of that, maybe up to retest this area right in here. Have a lot of little wicks right through here. This is right about the London Open.
I had to step away for a bit. Sorry, Al. What
okay.
you doing a setup there on your
No,
US?
just doing analysis on the. See, this is Euro US. Should I want a Euro CAD?
Yeah.
Why didn't somebody stop me? Here's a Euro CAD.
Because
Okay.
technical analysis could be helpful until.
Because it was just so interesting anyway. So basically, yeah, we're looking to see where oil is going to stop getting more expensive for a little bit here.
Yeah, well, I know our price went up significantly. The gas station was like significantly. I wasn't happy.
No.
Whenever we go to Atlanta, we always go gas up in South Carolina. And last time we did that about a month ago, it was about $1.20 a gallon. It was $2.45 a gallon coming through this time. That's up over $1 a gallon in the last 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Try a dollar. What, $1.20, $1.25 a liter.
Yeah, so multiply that by about 4.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need to get a Tesla.
I like my diesel. But
you know what? I keep wondering, with all the blackouts they have in California, when everybody goes to electric cars, they're not going to have any electricity to wash their dishes, let alone run their cars. You still have to get the energy from someplace.
Why Tesla sells solar panels also.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, the manufacturing process to create those panels, it's really environmentally friendly.
I heard that by 2030, Volvo expects to have all their cars manufactured will be electric cars by 2030.
Okay, that's an ambitious goal considering they don't have any yet, right?
I don't think they do. Yeah. Now, what I do wonder whether they're talking about strictly 100% electric, or they're looking at hybrids as
hybrid or something.
I mean, I just don't understand how people are going to travel cross country with a electric car and not spend hours getting themselves gassed up, so to speak.
Yeah,
I just don't know how that's going to work. But
well, they're fast charge, right? Like a buddy of mine's got a Tesla. There's a charging station right next to my house, and he says he can charge his car in like 20 or 30 minutes.
I have a Tesla.
Do you really, you, Charles?
Yep, I do.
Well, then you can talk to us about that. How long does it take you to gas up your Tesla?
I mean, it's. I always tell people. I mean, I have taken it on a few road trips, and it definitely adds some time. I mean, but yeah, if I, every supercharger is a little different. Sometimes you're getting up to like 500 miles for per hour, for every hour of charge. So my car, when I fill the battery completely up for a trip, I can get about 310, 320 miles of charge. So yeah, I can, we just plan out our trip and we stop for like a lunch or whatever, and takes about 20 to 40 minutes maybe. Some of the superchargers slow down a little bit as it fills up the battery.
Do you have a hard time finding charging stations?
No, and you go on a trip and
plan it out, right?
Tesla automatically maps out your trip kind of with stops and superchargers, and sometimes that'll change as you go on the trip. I have a little bit of a lead foot, so I don't use whatever it says in the car. I don't quite get that.
Okay, so here's my next question. What do they charge you to charge? How much? Or do they just give that to you?
Yeah, I'm a fairly new Tesla owner. I've owned my Tesla for less than a year, about 8 months now, and I get a full year of free supercharging. I have a charger in my garage, so 99% of the time I just park it and I plug it in, and I haven't seen any impact at all on my electric bill, to be honest with you. And my car's good to go every day. But on a trip, from what I do see what I would be charged, if it wasn't credited to me. So to fully charge my car, and obviously I'm never doing a 100% full charge, but to fill it, let's say 80%, typically what I've seen is between $4 to $6 to charge the car fully, 80%.
Well, that's pretty cost effective.
Very cost effective.
Yep. It just takes it definitely takes a little longer than, obviously you fill up your gas tank, and that takes 5 minutes. So you're adding to a trip with a Tesla. But as an owner, that's the only downside I can tell you about with a Tesla.
All right, well, you're gonna be you're gonna be my brand new authority on electric cars now. So you expect some questions as we move down the road, as this becomes more of the factor that we're going to be, as it becomes more and more a reality, and it will become a reality, especially with there's a lot of push to go that direction.
I'm on the I just got on a list. I'm expecting in the next realistically in later this month, I will be one of the next round of beta testers for the full self-driving feature that Tesla is rolling out right now in beta. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Self-driving, where you still sit behind the wheel and just let it drive you.
Yeah. So like right now, there's, the car drives itself right now to a degree, but with this new level of full self-driving, I can get in the car, tell it where to go, and it'll pull out, it'll make turns, it'll stop at stop signs and it'll do everything from A to Z to get you, from point A to point B. With all you have to do is touch the steering wheel every so often to let the car know you're still paying attention. That's it.
I was reading an article yesterday that they're already doing a it's not Uber, it's like Lyft, I guess, is doing a testing right now in Las Vegas for driverless cars.
Yep.
So it's coming. It's coming.
That's part of the selling point to Tesla owners, is that, I won't do this, but if you wanted to make money with your Tesla, you can drive it, and then when you're not driving it, just let your car go and be a taxi for people and get paid for it.
Brief.
All right. Well, let's see. We guess we buy. This is very interesting. There's a CAD yen. Here's a CAD yen. Let's take a look at this one before we get too far off track here. CAD yen. So we did get a break on this one. We didn't get an arrow, but it is breaking down on this, which doesn't surprise me with the CAD. So CAD yen, maybe we get a trade on this one. Let's take a look at this.
Actually, Matt, can I ask you a question from the Q&A?
Yes. What's up?
You use Envy. So Ronald is saying that he can't connect to his MyFX book since the update over the weekend, how the brokers updated their servers, I guess.
Right.
He says his demo accounts will, but his live accounts won't. Have you noticed anything?
No, I haven't. I haven't noticed anything about connecting directly to my FX book with my account. I find that a little bit interesting, since demo works in live.
Yeah,
interesting.
So I don't know enough about it. I can mention one thing about that with my FX book. Maybe he's already tried this, but what may work is in my FX books, they give you have to update the investor password. I would try to redo that again, go into my FX books and get a new investor password from my FX books, and then go to the MT4 and update that investor password. And that may be what you need to do to get it back hooked into my FX book.
Okay, thanks, guys.
This CAD yen, it looks like we already determined that the CAD is very strong. And right now we only have 10 pips to the upside with this. We are in an uptrend, we are in an up arrow, and everything else is looking good. Now the question is whether or not it could break through here to get, but you could probably go for, this is probably a little bit of a break of a wedge. This would be the target. This looks like this could be a good target. We did have some facing here that it stopped right on that, this area right here. So let's see what it looks like on the 5 minutes, see if there's anything major going on in between that red zone. If say if we can get through this little red zone here, we could get a target up here. It wouldn't be your 20 pip target, but it could still possibly work for a few pips. Which I kind of like this one. I'm gonna go and take the buy on this one. It's breaking through that, and I'm looking at it to come up there. I'm only gonna go for about 10 pips on this one, 85, 84.
Well, on this pair, Dylan mentioned that the 1 hour really shows a bullish move.
Yeah, well, I said we've already checked out the Canadian dollar. We know the dollar is real, or the CAD is real strong. Again, we've looked at the CAD, Euro CAD, and it didn't see any signs of looking backwards for any period of time soon. So based on that analysis, I'm okay with taking this and see what we can get out. But like I said, I'm not going to go for the 7. This would be one I may just go for 7 pips on this one. Just because there's that zone so close. It did break through this 1 minute zone. And so I'm just going to be looking at I'm going to be looking at, rather than a 40 pip stop, I'll be looking to say a 20 pip stop. And I'll be looking at, rather than a 20 pip target, I'm going to be looking at a 7 pip target on this one. 81. That. We'll see what happens.
So Marvin's telling us that the S&P turned. Good decision not to take the trade.
Yeah, I was watching that.
Went north.
Well, the other thing we didn't even talk about, and again, I know that this is what Mo would do, is, jumping into U.S. index before the market has opened like that on a Monday is a bad idea. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no players in the game yet. Well, most of the big guys are still sleeping.
Yep.
They're waiting. They're waiting for market to open, to establish direction, and then they'll go from there.
Yeah, so anyway, we'll take a look and see where we at here for time. How are we doing our time?
Doing pretty good, Al. Still got half an hour.
So I have half an hour yet.
We had that CAD Swiss alert. It was right below the CAD yen.
Was it? Okay, thank you, Christine.
You're welcome.
CAD Swiss. There again, it's going to be the CAD. Lots of green on the bottom on here.
It's trying to break that resistance right
now.
now.
It's got to break through this one. This is probably going to be the same scenario. We did see that the Swiss was weak, the dollar was strong. If we look at our heat map on this one. Yeah, the dollar and the CAD are both fairly strong. Swiss is still fairly weak. Well, it's getting a little bit of strength on the lower time frames, but it's still fairly weak on the 1 hour. We have a 4-point spread on the CAD to the Swiss on the 30 minute. So yeah, I'd be okay with that. And let's take a look and see where if that 5 minute zone is still in play here on the CAD Swiss.
My resistance just disappeared on the CAD Swiss.
Did it? Okay.
On the 15 minute.
I see nothing here on the 5.
Yeah, I think you might have to reload that. Sometimes, the arrow doesn't. There are green zones on the 5 minute, but I think you just, yeah. You see that resistance is gone now.
Yeah, it is. I think we can. I think we can take this trade. A lot of room to the upside. We got up arrows, uptrend, and no place in sight. So
I might take this trade. Yeah,
I'll try taking this one as well. And this one will go with the modify this one with the. Make sure you change this back. If you changed it before, make sure you change it back. There's 400 on that one to be 40 pips. And we're going to make it 200, which would be 20 pips. Click on the blue, click on the red, click on the modify. Let's go back and see what a possible target would be if we can get a little bit more than 20 pips, see if there's another range out up here. So CAD Swiss, let's see, go back to my, let's see, Euro US, CAD Swiss, so on this one over here. On a daily chart, well, I'm not seeing anything to the left over here. Let's go to a weekly chart and see what we can find. We've got a little zone right in here. Here's the wick, here's the body. So you're right to that point right there. Supply zone. Let's see. Gonna lock this so we don't move it. Come back over here to our 15-minute chart and see what kind of price action we have on the 15-minute. And it looks like we have room to the upside on this one. If we got in right around this area, yeah, we have our 20 pips, so we should be able to get our 20 pips out of that possibly. Yeah, that one looks pretty good here. It is in an uptrend. We have nice little, let's see if I'm looking at it from a technical standpoint. Let's see, I like the bottoms of this. A, B, here's a C. Flat top the B. Here's the break. Here's a target up there. We do have a nice little trend. If you look at the trend on this point here to this point up here, here's an anchor, here's a hit, here's a hit. This would be a target possibly right in this. It could get a little bit of a bounce off of this area right in here. Be aware of that. Right where the candle would intersect this trend line. $73.85. Not sure where anybody got in on this. Let's see where I get in on this one. Oh, looks like I may have already hit a target here. Custom period. This is for this week. And that CAD yen trade that already closed out. We got our 7 pips on that. So I wasn't going for any more than that. And we'll see if we can get this one can come up here and hit that red line there.
So question for you, Al. Could you explain how you're figuring out the supply zone?
Sure. I would go to the, I pretty much have to, I just go to my trading view charts just because it's so much easier to maneuver. So I'm not going to do it on this one. But basically what you do is you go to your higher time frame. We go to the higher, we're looking at the CAD Swiss right now. And you can see where, if you could look to the left of your chart, you'd see absolutely no other, if you draw a line where the price is right now, which is basically right, well, I'll just draw it from, you find out where the highest price is, right, where your price is right there. And then you look to the left and see where you can find a candle that touches this blue line. And you probably have to go to a higher time frame to see where that may be. So I'm going to go to a 4-hour chart, still nothing. Go to my daily chart, and you'll see that wherever the price is, where's my price right now? Here's where my price is right here. So I'm going to, on a daily chart, you have to draw my line because I lost it on this. So I had to go all the way to a daily chart, come all the way to the left, and see where I run into some candles. Then you look from, you see where the origin of this move is up here, where the first hit the candle right here. So you go up until find out where the origin of that was, and you can see that there is nothing. This thing just went from a daily standpoint. It just started crashing on down, and then came back across this blue line. So the target's going to be up in here someplace near the origin of the move. And usually what I do is I'll take the top pivot area, and actually, now I think I did this on a weekly chart, so but I can actually tighten this thing up a little bit. Let's see. If you look and see where these blue candles going up, it came back down. This right here would be probably where you could probably look at a possible. This is where the highest blue candle got broken, and it never came back to look at it again. So there were some buyers in here to drove this up, but that was all these buyers were taken out. So this is the origin of the move. So this is where I put the target zone. Then I come back over to the left or to the right and see where we are price-wise. And so this could be the target, but we also had a zone. If we look, this is on a daily chart. Now, if I look at I'm looking to see what the price action is on this 15-minute chart here. So I'll go to the 15-minute chart and see where my blue zone is. This is where my supply zone is. And this is where, so I'd be looking at that as a target, but I'm also looking to see how it trends. It's probably not going to be it may not be a complete straight shot up here. It could be, but it's also following the channel. So it may get a bounce up here, come back down, retest the channel, and just kind of work its way up until it gets all the way to this point. Or it could break the channel and come up right here and just tag that. But this will be the ultimate target, but the top of my trend line is my initial target first. Hopefully that answers your question. US Tech, let's see, that's on a buy. This might be another one of those things where you may want to stay away from that this morning. We'll take a look at it. So we're still looking at this one here. Right now, we're about at our break-even point where we got into this trade, and I'm only going for the 20 pips on this one. And there was room to the upside still. And it's US NASDAQ. Will be on this one right here. And we're on a 5-minute chart. Let's check out the 1 minute, see if there's a zone right in front of us. We got one right up here at the 12,646 area. So let's pull our template over. My objects. $12,646. Now the question, do we have room to the upside on this one? Let me see here. 12,636, 37-ish. And we had the alert on the 5-minute. So 12,573 to 12,6. Yeah, there's plenty of room for the price wise. There was a red zone up here where I put the green line. Looks like our CAD Swiss trade is working out okay. And let's go ahead.
CAD Swiss was a good call, Al.
I'm going to go ahead and buy that one. I'm going to take a shot at this one. It didn't get the bounce off the zone, but we did get the crossover of the moving averages. We do have a 1-minute zone right up top here. And we're just going to go for $5. Modify. And on this one, I got in at 12,573. So the target is to be 12,578. And then this one's going to be $10 stop. Would be, so we got in at 73.63, 12,563. $10 stop, $5 target. And something's all right. 12,5. $53. Try that. $73 to $78. That one works. Oh, there it goes. It's happy now.
Yeah, that's a great call there, Al, on CAD Swiss.
Yeah, so far we're only up 2 pips on it, though.
Yeah, it still seems fine.
We did have a nice one on the CAD yen. We got that one.
Yeah.
So the CAD's strong. So it's still. We'll see how this one works out here. And let's see. We've got...
guys, there's something funky that happened with Gearbox over the weekend on the update. That's what I've been trying to figure out over the last little bit. The range multiplier and lot size multiplier are kind of reversed. So that's just a side point. So go check your gearboxes, guys.
Say like in the range multiplier and the...
there was an update with the Gearbox Manager over the weekend. And one of the settings or a couple of the settings have been reversed. So they're not functioning as, they're not the values that we had anticipated. So Tyler's looking to rectify that. This is a pretty important thing to pay attention to. One.
So do we have to just go in and change each one individually, or what? Change each one individually?
Yeah, I'm going in and I'm changing mine individually. I've got a couple of accounts that I have to go in and do that for now. But Tyler is aware, and he's working on getting that rectified as quickly as possible.
Will he be able to rectify it with just reload the manager and then just reload everything, or do you have to?
I'm honestly not sure, Al. I don't know, because the lot size multiplier and the range multiplier are the ones that are reversed.
Okay.
So, and because of the ghost trades that are associated to that, it could be more problematic than that. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's something to note about, and we kind of just noticed this morning when people started getting bigger lot sizes than normal.
Okay.
Because it's 0.35 instead of 0.15.
Okay.
So 1.35 instead of 1.15, and the other one is the opposite. So.
Okay. So we got another alert on the Swiss Shan. Let's take a look at that one here. Yeah, we'll go back to. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Matt, but.
Oh no, you're fine. I just thought it was important since we had
I'm glad you told us.
Multiple
get the word
people
out there. Yeah, we get the word out there.
Yeah. We'll make a post in a Trade Masters group so that people are aware.
Okay.
Especially if they're thinking they're running super conservative settings. It's not hyper aggressive. It's just it's not.
It's not what it should be.
What's the position size multiplier supposed to be?
1.15, and it's 1.35.
Oh, so they flip-flopped. I can see that. So the range is supposed to be 1.35 and the position is supposed to be 1.15.
Yeah. Okay. These are like the high volatility settings. It had to do when you noticed on the Gearbox Manager, they updated so they had instant entry, skip a level, swing sniper, and super sniper. On the Gearbox Manager, that's where that kind of came into play. So I'm going back and I'm just updating everything.
Oh, the Swiss Shan right now, we're in a red zone, so there's really no trade yet. If it breaks through this top of the red zone, but you're going to, by the time you break through that, you may be halfway to your target area. But here would be where the entry would be, right on this blue candle here. But you're, like I said, you're in a red zone, so there's no trade on this one right now. The Swiss is, let's see where the Swiss is, reference to the yen. Let's get over here to this one. And we have the Swiss is still weak pretty much. The yen is weaker. So yeah, I would stay away from that trade. They're too close together. They're fighting for last place and no point fighting that one. So that'd be no trade. And the US tech seems like it's starting to work here. Move that one up. Make sure my targets are right. 12,573, 12, take profit, 12. That should not, it's not right. I'm gonna modify that. 12,573 to 12,578. I'll let that go a little bit further here. It's 12,578. I kind of like that one. 12,560. Do that. He's about ready to take some profit here.
Any Monday you put money in the bank, it's a good Monday.
Yeah, I just set my target on the NASDAQ.
Nice.
The CAD Swiss is still struggling here a little bit. But still profitable. And that's 2 trades closed out profitable. 1 more to go.
Yep.
Any other questions? We have about 10 more minutes. Anybody have any more questions, comments, opinions? Now's a good time to ask.
Good on my end.
Let me check the question answer. Looks like you guys have done a great job answering questions. And I appreciate that. It's hard for me to monitor that and run the charts at the same time. Besides that, if every time I pull that up, all you do is get a big old square box in the way. And that doesn't do anybody any good. US Tech has some. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, just see what kind of potential there is on this one here. I'm going to go to the, let's see, let's go to the, let's just pull, that's the wrong one. I'll pull up a NASDAQ chart here if I can find one. For US Tech. Bitcoin's up almost to 51 again. Here's the US Tech 100.
Now I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Any idea if the CAD Swiss is going to reverse anytime soon? A lot of people in drawdown apparently on variable and gearbox with that pair.
The CAD Swiss, let's go take a look at that real quick. Seems to me that was one that we had some room to the upside. I think we only had about 20 pips to the upside before you're looking at it to possibly reverse. Let me see here. It was CAD Swiss, you said, correct?
Right, right.
Yeah, this is the one we actually drew this all out earlier today. I would not be surprised to see it bounce off of the 73.85 level, but if it doesn't, it could come on up for another little run up to the top up here. So that could be another 28 pips. I would say if you're in, I'm assuming that you're in the sell positions on this. If you're in drawdown, I would say I'm pretty much of the mindset is just let variable and gearbox do its thing. When it's if it gets up to this area, I'd be more apt to try it. Part of the thing is you don't want to be trying to take this. I don't like breakouts trades, period. But unfortunately, that's usually what happens with a lot of these wedge trades or the breakout trades. But if you get up into this area, especially the 74.11 area, and you're in drawdown, I would let it take another trade at that area. But I would like to see it show you some weakness. In other words, like get up there. I mean, a couple of things you can do is you can just pause the variable or just limit the amount of levels that you take on gearbox or variable. Limit the levels, and then when it gets if you start seeing where that last level that you took starts getting profitable, you can kind of let it go. But I would be more apt to say if you're in drawdown and it comes up to this area and you're still able to weather the drawdown, I'd be taking another position short up there, because I think once it gets up here, you're going to see a significant drop. It's already starting to show a little bit of a even like this. You have this trend right here, the blue trend line. You have the B. You can see the B was rejected before you even got to the trend. This could be that last little push before it kind of gives it up a little bit. It still has some upward pressure, but you're getting to extremes on all this, and I'd be looking at maybe on the lower time frames, seeing it where it maybe starts giving it up a little bit. It's had a pretty good little run. Let's see where. It's getting near the extreme. It should have a nice little push earlier today. It could still push up early today. But I think before the end of the week, it's probably going to get back some of it. And so I find out most of the time, if you can just let the drawdown happen and just be able to let the variable and gearbox do its thing, it usually gets you out with a profit. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, is that the farmer can't harvest a crop unless he plants the seed. So you can't harvest the profits unless you accept the drawdown. So that's just all part of the nature of the beast. We all like the profits, but we don't like the drawdown. Nobody likes a lot of drawdown, but that's usually where your biggest profits come in. And on that note, I think we get 5 more minutes, it looks like.
I've got another question for you.
Okay.
The Aussie US on the 15-minute looks like a potential counter trend setup. Would it be worth our time to keep an eye on it, even though it already moved so many pips today?
A counter trend setup. Let's see, Aussie dollar we're talking about. Let's take a look at that one. And we're going to see what kind of trend we have. We're going to zoom on out. Looks like it's in a downtrend. Put my down arrow over here. So next, a little slow here. And we're zooming back out. Zoom in, I guess. Depending which way you want to look at it. I never tried to predict when it's going to reverse.
Especially we've not had an arrow recently.
Yeah, especially with not having an arrow. It's just a guess. It would just be a guess. And it's going to be, I would say this, when the blue moving average crosses over the 200 moving average, you may start looking at a reversal pattern starting to develop. But as long as the blue one is below the purple one, now it is kind of flattening out. So as these are flattening out, if it starts taking out this zone, then we may start building some green bars underneath it. But in the meantime, until you start getting more green than red, you're just basically in more of a sideways range. So from this, looking at it from my trading view chart, I'd be looking at, I'll start with like an hourly chart and let's clean up all these. And I would be looking at right now it's remember I've often said that in one time frame it's going sideways, another time frame it's trending. In this case, I'm looking at on the higher time frame over the last week. This was the 28th right here. So from the 28th, which was last Sunday, to here, this is basically the sideways range that this pair has been playing in over the last week. It's the playground. We'll block that. So we are at the bottom part of the weekly low from last week's low. It came back down, and you see it came back down. This was the low, pulled back up, came back, and now it's looking. Here's our little bit of a wedge right in this area. If I look at from here to here to here, there's a little bit higher low, and then we can flat top this. go to a 15-minute chart. Here's our low. We'll just tweak this, tweak that, bring this down to make that. And we're going to flat top the and so we did have it. Here's a little bit of head fake right here. And this thing could very well start going up to retest this area. Now, do you have enough room between here and here? You've got 45 pips. So if you wanted to take a long, just keep in mind, this is the last range that has been inside the bigger range. Here's the bigger range right here. And it's actually still going sideways on the bottom half of this range. You can see this B is about halfway from the A. This whole move right here. It retraced about half of it, came back, retested the A. Now it's going to come back and retest the B once it kind of gets moving on. But once it breaks the B, then I say now you start looking at a trend reversal on a lower time frame. But from the picture of last week's picture, you're still within the range. Hopefully that makes sense. Remember, everything, there's always a trend inside of a sideways, a higher time frame sideways. You're going to see trending inside of that. And it usually breaks up, it then usually trends in the bottom half, goes up, trends in the top half, comes back down, trends in the bottom half, until it finally breaks this and then starts a new higher time frame trend. And on that note, that's about all the time we have for this morning. Again, I appreciate everybody coming here. Thank you for the questions. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you made a little bit of money today. And with that, we'll see you everybody again tomorrow.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
Everybody.
Charles. Thanks, Eva. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Matt.
Welcome.
We'll see everybody tomorrow. Take care.
Bye. Take care, everybody. God
Bye,
bless.
everyone.